In exploring the origins of Château de Gizeux, its sweeping architecture, hidden art, and colorful stories, what we uncovered was not just a castle, but a living archive of resilience. In part one, we saw the architecture of Château de Gizeux unfold in 3 parts, a living timeline built across centuries. We were welcomed into the François Premier Gallery, where vibrant paintings slept behind a false wall for over 100 years. We stood in a corridor of chateaux, surrounded by murals that once trained artists in the age of Louis XIV. And now, the tour continues, into the rooms where life unfolded in quieter, more personal ways. Because this is what makes a castle more than stone and status. It's the lives it sheltered, the warmth it preserved, the challenging years it endured. If you believe that kind of beauty is worth remembering, you're in the right place. This is Saving Castles, and this is part 2 of Château de Gizeux. Our tour continues into one of the chateau's bedrooms, an unassuming space that quietly holds one of its most powerful stories.
In fact, I show you this room because the story is really nice. You know, I explain you that it's a young couple who received the chateau like a wedding present just before the French Revolution. And during the French Revolution, the young husband go out of France and stay in exile during 10 years. And during 10 years, his young wife stay alone here with 3 little babies. And she maintains the place. And this is this woman who has the clever idea to make a false wall and a double ceiling in the first room.
I see.
And waiting her husband, she do something very feminine. She embroidered everything here, all the chairs, but also the 4 curtains.
Oh my gosh, this is all original.
Yeah, and also the top of the table.
Look at this.
And she was doing the table when her husband came back after 10 years. And if you look, it's not very well finished here, you see? Because we think that her husband was here and she said, oh, stop, stop, stop. And she quickly finished a little bit too quickly. And 9 months after, they had a baby. And we found in the attic this crib.
Oh my gosh.
And it's from the time of Napoleon.
What those 10 years must have felt like for Julie-Perrine de la Loire, waiting, working, not knowing if her husband would ever return. Yet she filled the silence with something lasting. This embroidery, stitched in the 1790s, still looks nearly as vivid as the day she threaded it into being. Just a bit of wear at the edges, like a memory softened by time.
That's the original color,
Oui.
You see? This is the difference, yeah. Because of the sun.
In some parts of the chateau, it looks as if time didn't even touch it, like the hallways here lined with paintings, as if stringing together all the rooms and thematic stories. And as we move through the next rooms, you begin to see something else. The quiet secret to keeping a home like this alive is to keep living in it. In the 18th century, a wind of elegance swept through the castle. The stone floors gave way to parquet, the best insulator at the time. The woodwork, now dressed in soft color. The Grand Dôme de Gizeux transformed these salons into intimate spaces for conversation, post-dinner drinks, and warmth, complete with their original furniture still intact.
They are from the middle of the 18th century. They put it here in the middle of the 18th century. It never moved. So with my husband, we register all the furniture as a historical furniture. Like that, they can't go out from the chateau. Yeah. They are staying here for the eternity. Yeah, to protect them. All the furniture. For example, the table was here with the same chair in front of it.
The woodworkers who crafted these pieces came directly to the chateau. So what you see here has never left these walls. In both placement and layout, these salons are styled as close as possible to how they were back then. And although the current family doesn't spend a lot of time here, they still fill it with memories.
We like him very much because he's a very beautiful boy.
Yes.
It's an uncle who joined the army during in 1944 to deliver the France, and he died when he was 21. But he was so beautiful.
Yes.
A very handsome boy.
Yes.
And here it's the end of the First World War. It's a man of the family who liberated Alsace, the east of France, and it's a young girl. We give him a bouquet of flowers. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When it comes to the home, to take care of something is to use it and to live in it.
The chairs are from the 18th century, but the tapestry are from our grandmother. You know, she took the same virus as her ancestor, and she embroidered everything here. Mm-hmm.
While a lot of these pieces are decorative, they remain practical and still carrying the comfort they were made for. And how wonderful to learn that the Chateau now welcomes guests to enjoy those same comforts and stay at some of their newly renovated bedrooms.
20 years ago, there were no electricity, no water, no central heating. So the first year we make an apartment for us, and after we renovate step by step rooms,
step by step,
to make guest room.
If you've ever wanted to sleep inside history, now you can. The family has restored these guest rooms with modern comforts, but kept the original charm of the space. Through the window, you get a view of the dense forest that surrounds the castle, a forest that served the hunting traditions at Gizeux. Gizeux has always been a hunter's residence, and the hunting room is where the hunting stories end, told around a long table beside a crackling fire. This has been a hunting room for a very long time.
Yeah.
It's always stayed with this purpose as a hunting room.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-mm.
Isn't this a fantastic...
I think this is my favorite room.
Yes, you like it? His red deer was hunted during 10 years. Mm-hmm. And nobody can catch it. It was so big that it became the only man in the forest. So it's a problem when there is only one man during years and years and years and years in the forest. So at the end of the 10 years, they say, the hunters say, we really need to kill him because it's bad for all the other deer.
I see.
So after 10 years, they kill it. And we understand why it was so hard to kill. It's because if you look at his, how do you call this?
Antlers?
Yeah. Really? They are very, very close like that.
Yes.
Normally it's like that.
Yes.
So into the forest, it was very, very fast.
Fast because of the antlers.
Exactly. It was aerodynamic. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it's why it was so hard. It was so hard to kill him.
Yes, I just noticed that now. They are very close together.
Exactly, exactly. So it was 100 years ago. So
100 years ago.
Yeah. I think they killed him in 1912 or something like that. So more than 1 century.
After long days, one often thinks about digging into a feast. And at Gizeux, they used to be prepared in this kitchen, which was used until the 1970s. The pots, the tools, the oven, all original. And
when the last cook retired, we don't find someone who wants to come at 6 o'clock in the morning to make fire, to have coffee at 8.
So this must be what your children are for, so they can polish all of this.
Yes, they have a lot of work.
Lots of work to polish.
Yeah. And we polish it once a year. And it's now, if you want to stay this evening, I can give you something to polish it. It's really now.
So she'll put us to work polishing. So this is very old copperware.
18th or 19th century.
Now these must be something special.
Yes, we call it les coiffes. Each woman who was working had a small hat like that. During the week, it's this one. And for the Sunday, it's most elegant, and she embroidered by herself.
Oh, how wonderful. The kitchen carries a few modern touches, but nothing that erases the layers of time. The items here remind you that progress didn't replace the past here. It settled in beside it. It smells like iron and old recipes, like memories you didn't know you had. And out into the halls beneath the chateau, a different kind of survival took place. In the cellar, which stretches the entire breadth of the chateau.
So the cellar is here, and it's a nice place because it's very old. It's from the 14th century too. It's a foundation of the chateau. And here you have a beginning of a tunnel, and at the origin this tunnel was 2 kilometers long and was opening in a church in another village. It was to escape from the chateau if the chateau was under
So have
attack.
you walked?
Yes, but it's not 2 kilometers at all.
It's
less.
collapsed? Some
Yeah,
areas
it's
have-
collapsed.
Stephanie tells us of her grandfather who once hid down here during the Second World War. And he said,
The chateau saved my life. With this group of resistance, they attacked a train, and in this train there were a lot of prisoners who were going by train to the east, to the camp. And they saved hundreds' life. Of course, they have to hide. And he came here, and I forget to tell you that the Germans was occupied the chateau, and he stayed here into the cellar. Our grandfather was hidden him into the cellar.
He protected him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And he stayed during months and months, perhaps 3 or 4 months here. And he explained us that during the night he was going outside to do things of resistance. And we said, but how can you go outside? There were the Germans here.
Yes.
And he said, I was taking the tunnel. Oh, yes. So the tunnel, he used the tunnel to go outside. And each morning he came back here to be protected during the day. And after 3 or 4 months, he saw the Germans forget him. And he stayed out during a day. And the German catch him, and he was in the camp, in the death camp, yeah. But he survived, and he said, I survived because when I was into the cellar of the chateau, the cook gave me so many things to eat that I was very strong.
Strong.
So in his mind, it's really the chateau, these few months in the chateau that saved his life.
above us, yet another story of survival is being written in the chapel. The chapel's origins are unclear, as the castle's archives were lost during the French Revolution, but the stonework and painted ceiling suggest it was built in the late 16th or early 17th century. And even older still, the statues that line the chapel remind us that faith has been practiced here for far longer than records can confirm.
14th or 15th century, it's really very old.
It seems to be at least that old, yes.
Above, the floral frescoes bloom in shades of sky blue and gold, curling delicately along the vaulted ceiling like a secret garden suspended above the pews. This chapel feels very personal. At the back, there's a carved wooden gallery that hides a discreet door leading directly to the private quarters. You could enter quietly, without announcement or ceremony. It is a space for solitude, for stillness. But today, scaffolding covers its exterior. Inside, the paint peels. Moisture has darkened the beams. The damage is no longer creeping. It's advancing. And yet, there is hope. Major restorations are underway, and the hard-working restoration experts and more than 400 donors are making it possible, quiet champions of history whose support speaks volumes. Because places like this are restored by the loving hearts of those who believe the past still has something to offer the present. And soon, the chapel will reopen to the public, even before every detail is complete. Because something like this, something this beautiful, this meaningful, can't stay hidden forever. And as Stephanie says, it's worth the effort.
So you have spent most of your life renovating.
Yes, but we like it because we think we are renovating a part of the history of our country, in fact. Also to share our passion with people, and we like it.
From the rooms that held royalty to the corridors that trained artists, from the salons that whispered with laughter to the cellar that held its breath during war, Gizeux is every bit a survivor. It has seen kings rise and fall, endured the revolution, watched France become a republic, an empire, and a republic again. Through it all, it stood, quietly witnessing the shape of a nation. And through two parts, we've only just begun to understand it. If these stories moved you, subscribe. And to our Patreon supporters, thank you. You're helping us bring these histories to light. There's even more waiting for you on Patreon. Deeper stories, rare archival finds, and extended footage from more chateaus. Share this with someone who needs to remember that beauty can endure, that history still breathes. This is Saving Castles, and Gizeux is one we won't forget.